The title of the film is I'm Truly a Drop of Sun on Earth. It's the words taken by post-colonial writer Frantz Fanon, and the name of the book, it's The Black Skin, White Mask. Actually, in the end, it doesn't really make the direct link to the film, but I found it was super beautiful that it's affirmation of something. Yeah, it also talks that I am, it's something, and they are something.
Where you get the idea to do this film, and what was your motivation to do it?
First, I can say that it was very personal reason why I just jumped into this subject, because I had an African-Swiss girlfriend, and we went together to Tbilisi, and there I found out how difficult it was to be a person of color, somebody who was very different. Of course, I experienced this, being woman, being like queer woman, different stuff that you feel that you are kind of outsider, but that was something very, very strong for me.
How was the decision to portray also a town, of course, to tell a story, but also this relationship with the town, with your town? The
distance evokes some differences that you haven't seen before. You see things differently, and of course I experienced the Western life, I met different people, so I also went back different. I really felt how, let's say, this Western capitalism was kind of invading the place, and everything was selling out, and everything was private, everything became kind of luxury and affordable for the local people. So it's kind of, that's how I ended up on the Radisson Hotel. It's in the middle of the city, and it's the place that experienced all the political changes, let's say. When the communists collapsed, this place, it was a refugee camp. And after the refugee camp, 2003, when there was a Rose Revolution, when the capitalists come in the country, it turned out it's a Radisson Hotel, the 5-star luxury hotel. For me, it's very symbolical, because it's only place that it didn't change. It's just the exterior that is changing. Underneath this hotel, you have this huge space. It was so big that nobody knew really what to do with this place. And after, when the Soviet Union collapsed, it became kind of place that was very dangerous. It became like a luxury place on the top, and down it still stayed something that it was very mysterious. None of the local people go in these places. For me, this underground, it's also symbolically, it talks about something very strong.
From the temporal point of view, the perception of time is totally horizontal. Actually, it's probably also because of the black and white. I have this sort of impression of sort of suspension of time. How do you work the timeline or the time dimension?
It's not defined, it's true. What was my idea, and I really wanted to also be working with actors, that it's also for them how time passes by. It's something that it's not so precise. There is no precision of the time, what is for us. It's very different how time passes for them.
It's this way of walking, it's very specific, very special. She's so slow, and it's almost not realistic in a way. Why?
Of course, it's a way how she walks. I kind of wanted to adapt also her own rhythm and my rhythm, that we could find something more suitable. But it was very slow. And it's interesting that you noticed that. I think that it's what is very accelerated and very, very, very fast. It's their way of thinking. I mean, what they think about. So I think I found it that it's something very mental in a way how she walks. So she's always occupied about thinking about something. Actually, she doesn't have any place also to be hurried.
You feel the violence, but it's never there.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a sort of suspense, because you are waiting more for a sort of catastrophe. And that's make this tension.
No,
I wasn't coming here. I was going to Georgia.
And now perhaps it's also important to talk about the actors, how you get them and how you work with them.
It was quite a long process, yeah. We worked a lot, before I found all of them. I really like to work with non-professional actors, because it's also it's kind of risky, because I don't know also how I will direct them, and also I never know how we're gonna manage to collaborate. So I found it's also interesting for me that there is no very clear idea, because this person, it brings something very different, so we have to really adapt our working process. It's really strong collaboration. Bianca, this transgender woman who is in the film, through her I met other girls. Also, some of them I met in the street. Just, I went when they were working, and I just talked to them. I explained what is the project. The girls that they agreed, and they are part of the film. They really understand. They know why they are there, what we are talking about, and they are very conscious about the conditions and the problems. What is mentioned in the film. So we had a crew. So I had all the actors. They never knew what we would shoot next day. So we would place everything on the set, on the location. We would kind of more or less adapt and kind of appropriate the dialogues. All of them, they have their own way of talking, which is very, very precious for me. It was important to have all these identities and the characteristics what all of them they bring in a film. So it was really on the space. I was just staging choreography. It was constantly changing some stuff because of the conditions how we worked. We never knew. Maybe the day after we couldn't shoot because of this place, because of this location, because of some actor wouldn't come. So it was constantly like we had to adapt somehow with the conditions what we had.
Because there is, of course, this almost documentary aspect of in your film. And what was the consequences in a way by these people to do this film? There are probably people that are quite invisible in the society, and they have no chances normally to have the right words.
I mean, there is a lot of aspects. I paid all of them. They have their own work, so I had to take them out from their work. So I had to provide them with some very basics. I think some of them they said, so I want that people just hear about us, hear about other women who are even worse conditioned than we are. And that's why some of them they agreed to act, because they said, I'm not in this condition anymore. I got in a better place. I kind of progressed in my life, but I want to show my experience. I want to just talk about women that they are so feeling in this, they are so, they live in this violence.
You got a new consciousness in a way. So.
Yeah, I think that was very precious, that it's not just, I'm going to act in a film, or I'm going to be in the film. It's really something that, I know why I'm doing this. We have also something to say, and our voice counts.
It's Georgia.
No. Georgia, USA.
2 actors passed away. Sadly, it's very brutal answer of the fiction that I wrote. Dan, who is the main character, this African guy, the Nigerian man, who is, he was mistreated in a hospital, so nobody paid attention on him. Yeah, very lonely, he had his brother around him, but he just passed away. And the same with the Bianca, she was a transgender. They didn't let her leave, so, her life also stopped before the film was finished. Exactly this violence that it's in a film, but you don't see, but it's happening. I'm very, very glad that I shoot this film in this time, because I have these two people in a film, and they're saying something, and they existing in the film.
I think the camera work is really amazing.
It's very difficult to make the black and white image, and we had very, very small equipment. We worked really with the low light. There was basically we didn't really have a lot of equipment, and there was also the question of the economy of economy this film, because we had to be very mobile. In case something happens, we cannot have tracks that are waiting for us. It was as low material, it's less people. Just to be a quick, and you have to feel. For me, it's important feeling the conditions of the work. It's a concept that it's not just a film about them. It's also that there is the very strong visual and a kind of cinematic decisions that we took.
About the title, I was thinking about the sun. I mean, the sun is never there. There is the moon. And the moon scene is probably the scene where, in a very shy way, these people dare to hope something, and so for me, the drop of sun is also a sort of drop of hope in this.
I think what I learned with them, it's something that actually they don't hope. They don't have any hope. And this is what I found very powerful, that I think me personally, when I hope, I found this hope sometimes it's very sad. This hope brings so much sadness, and these people, they were not sad. Because I found that they didn't have any hope and they were just moving on. I don't know what they had and what they were expecting, but it for me was not a hope. There was a question after the screening. Somebody asked me if I hope that something is gonna get better. If there is no tiny bit of hope, I wouldn't touch something. I believe. I think it's more belief that I believe something can change. There is kind of one step farther that they became like visible in just totally like invisible world that they used to live.
It's also a way to come back to the very bottom of humanity, the very...
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. It's exactly that's what I feel, and it's a bottom of the society, and it's in terms that everything stands on this. Everything stands on them, let's say it. And also if we go back to the verticality and about the Radisson and this underground, it's where they are. All this heaviness, all this luxuries, whatever it is on the surface stands on them. Yeah, there is no question about like ethics, there is no question about the morality, it is there. It is such like humans. And I think this is so powerful, and it's need and this movement of moving on, but you don't know where they go. The high resistance that it's just embodied in every movement what they do. It's a movement of resistance. It's kind of continuity of the resistance. If I lose this hope, let's say, this belief, I'm not gonna do anything anymore. This is this continuous like resistance that it keeps me on and keeps me move on, let's say.